Hey, welcome back to our show. This week we're going to talk about cabinets and countertops. So this could be a multi-day conversation, of course. So we're just going to kind of hit some of the top things here, just kind of educate you on some basic cabinet ideas. Let's start talking about cabinets. There's kind of two ways to build a cabinet. There's what you call a framed or frameless. Frameless is also called Euroframe. So what that means is if you look at a cabinet, that the door will be recessed into the frame or the box of the cabinet, or the door will be on the outside of the box and have a frame on the outside. So traditionally we've seen a lot of frame cabinets over the years, and we're starting to see this Euro frameless style come in over the last while. So there's base cabinets and wall cabinets. Base cabinets are on the bottom, they sit on the floor. Wall cabinets, as the name implies, is attached to the wall. So base cabinets can be in a whole variety of places in your home, from your kitchen, bathrooms, laundry rooms, office, built-ins, and so forth. They're typically boxes. They're made of a melamine material and then have some kind of cap on them, and the doors recess into those if they're the frameless. Now, if they're framed, what they typically do is still have the melamine box, but then they'll have the wood, whatever type of wood finish you're having, whether it's paint or stained or whatever, be the frame, and then the door attaches to that. So on those you can have doors, drawers, you can have tall cabinets for brooms, vacuums, all kinds of different setups that you can think of. The wall cabinets you're typically going to see in the kitchen mainly, just above on the wall. They could be possibly in your office, they could possibly be in your laundry room, some of these areas. Wall cabinets tend to be not as deep. They tend to be at 12 inches kind of a setup, or a little bit more than that, but about 12 inches. And they typically go up to the usual height of about 7 feet. Some kitchens will go all the way to the ceiling, so that's definitely an upgrade to go have your wall cabinets go all the way to the ceiling. And then you can put some crown up there or something like that. So there's some options like that you can consider. In wall cabinets, you'll have shelves. You can have some different options, pull-outs or something like that. There's also a lot of things to be said about the different types of hardware that's involved. I know just selecting knobs or pulls is not an easy task, because you want that color to match and look good and tie well with all the other colors in your home. So there's a lot of varieties with the cabinet shop that we use that you can pick and choose from. Cool thing about the cabinets, especially the base cabinets, there's a lot of cool things you can do to make your kitchen much more user-friendly. You can have pull-outs for your garbage cans. You can have a pull-out for spice racks, for a knife area, where to put your knives. So a lot of cool little options to consider there. Also, when you're pulling those drawers out and pushing them in, a great feature is a soft close system. So when you shut your cabinet door, it'll shut, and then last about an inch or so, it slows it down and slowly sucks it in. That way you're not banging your cabinets and when you're closing them, and that makes it that's a really nice feature. But like I said, there's a lot of features with your cabinets that make it very user friendly. So really think about how you work in your kitchen, what kind of things you like to do in your kitchen. If you're a big cook, then you may want to think about some nice upgrades. If you just want to keep it nice and simple, that's an option as well. We also have seen, specifically with regards to a tall cabinet, we've several times had a wall cabinet that looks like a cabinet, but then when you open it, it goes to a secret room or goes to another area of the house. We've done that where we had one where you opened the cabinet door and you walked into a secret room that he used for his storage. We did another one where you open the door and it opens up to a whole gym. So really depends on what you're trying to do and what you want to do. They're really cool. It's a great feature to consider. These hidden rooms, definitely a really popular thing right now. With regards to the finish of the cabinets, there's kind of two ways to go about this. It's typically either just some kind of wood material that's stained, or it is a painted wood. If it's a stained wood, you can choose from a whole variety of hardwoods, and even some softer woods like alder. You can do alder, oak, cherry, walnut. There's all kinds of woods that you can choose. Typically tend to be a little bit more expensive because they're hardwoods, right? And they're very nice. A whole variety of stains and washes and things you could do to give it the color that you want. So really staining those cabinets gives you a lot of options. Definitely very cool. Another thing to consider is painting your cabinets. It's definitely a new fad over the last 10 years, I'd say. So the way they do that is they actually build the boxes and everything out of what they call HDF. It's a high density fiberboard. And so when you weigh a stained, let's say a piece of alder and a painted piece of HDF, it's much heavier. It's a very heavy, dense material. So it definitely gives a more hardy feel to the cabinet and some girth, you might see. So it's pretty nice stuff. And what's nice about the paint stuff is you always can repair it or replace it and match it perfectly. So that's nice to know. So that pretty much wraps it up. Cabinets, again, I'm just kind of giving a quick overview. You can see, as you see in this video right here, we have quite a few selections in our selection room here in Logan. You can pick and choose from cabinets and the countertops, and it gives you some ideas to consider. So now let's move on to countertops at this point. There's 4 basic countertop options. You have Formica, you see some unique concrete solutions. There's granite and quartz are the main ones that we work with. So quartz is an engineered product, which means they make it. It's man-made, right? But it's very non-porous and it can be damaged with heat. Granite, on the other hand, is a real rock material. It's cut straight out of the mountain kind of thing. Has natural patterns. It is porous, so it needs to be sealed, but it's very heat tolerant. But unfortunately, sometimes it can be more expensive than quartz. Both these solid surface materials are fantastic. Both have their pros and cons. It really depends on what you're looking for in your countertop. There's a whole variety of options. You go to our cabinet shops and they actually have tiers of different solutions for you. If you want just a basic, Arctic Fox white countertop, or if you want to go with a big fancy Taj Mahal, which is like a 4-inch slab. There's all kinds of options you can do. You can do waterfalls where it cascades over the sides of your cabinets. You can do a backsplash that's nothing but quartz or granite. There's a lot of cool options you can do with countertop material. Like I mentioned, concrete is kind of a do-it-yourselfer kind of thing. You'll see that sometimes. Epoxy, some of that kind of stuff. I've done a few of those. We've also done, you see Formica in some of the lower cost options. So if you're looking to really save some money, Formica is a fantastic way to save money quick. And there's a lot of Formica solutions that look like granite or look like some of these other materials, but they're very low cost. So that's a huge advantage there. Once the cabinets are in, they come and measure and do what they call template to know exactly how to cut the countertop. We have the partner we use actually manufactures both the cabinets and countertops together. So what's nice about that is they'll install the same day all your cabinets and all your countertops, which saves you about 3 weeks in the build process if you use someone else. So that's the way we really cut our schedules down, is by using them to do that. So that's really slick. What they do is, as far as backsplash against the kitchen wall, you can either do tile, or they'll put a basic little 4-inch piece of countertop as a backsplash and silicone that against the wall. Sinks can either be undermount or overmount. Undermount, they literally cut a hole in the countertop and bondo that up, or glue that up, or silicone that up. There's also a top mount where they cut a hole and drop the sink on there and silicone around the edge. So seams are something to consider if you have a really big island or something, because those seams can be very eye-catching. So you want to make sure, consider the size of your island to make sure that it's going to be appropriate for the size of slab you have. So, make sure we talk to the cabinet people as far as the size of your island to see if we can source a slab that's a single piece, then you don't have seams. And if you have seams, that they're appropriately placed and invisible to the eye. So anyways, that kind of wraps up our discussion on cabinets and countertops. Like I said, a million things to consider. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.